Um, he travels the state of Florida on behalf of the Democratic Women's Club of Florida, and he's on the Bureau of Speakers as well as Diversity Board for the DWCF. And in addition, he is speaking on behalf of Ready for Hillary, but now she's ready and Hillary's going and right now he's currently weighing how he can be of public service to the people of Pinellas County and a voice for those who feel invisible to their government, local leaders, and legislators of 2016. Please welcome Aaron Darr.
So, I was actually just here in January. I was getting you guys ready for Hillary, and clearly Hillary got ready. And as we are here today, Hillary Clinton is actually going to be in Roosevelt, Iowa. She's going to be launching her campaign officially today at 11:45 in New York City, laying out her vision for the nation and how she will lead us there as the first woman president of the United States. So I'm very, very excited about that. All of my hard work for those 2 years at Ready for Hillary paid off. As June was saying, my name is Aaron Darr, and I think I've met a lot of you before. I've worked with Ready for Hillary for the past 2 years. Now I'm traveling the state again on behalf of the Democratic Women's Club of Florida, being on the Bureau of Speakers, going around and talking about issues that all too often affect middle-class families, seniors, veterans, women, children, millennials, and future generations of children, so everyone in the state has the opportunity to live up to his or her own God-given potential. In the process of doing that, I also go and I talk to both partisan and nonpartisan groups. I'm very outspoken on a lot of issues. And I'm here today to talk about guns. So it's interesting, I've gone to different NRA and gun conferences here in this state, and I talked about the need for regulation and reform in regards to gun violence in this state, and it's something that is so needed. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about a group called Moms Demand Action for Common Gun Sense in America. I love them. I went to school in liberal New York City, and I got an opportunity to work with them right after the tragic shooting at St. Hook Elementary in 2012. I just remember sitting there and watching on the news as many people all across our country and all across the world had watched, and I just did not understand how something so horrible could happen, yet our government and many of the Republicans, and some of the Democrats even, and some of the independents, are not doing anything but standing by and standing up for the special interests, the lobbyists, the NRA, and gun owners, when we realistically need some kind of regulation and reform. You know, Moms Demand Action for Common Gun Sense in America was created to demand action from legislators, both state and federal, companies, and educational institutions to establish gun sense reforms all across our nation. They currently just launched their Be Smart campaign, which was created to unify responsible adults to reduce the number of unintentional shootings that occur when children get unsecured firearms in their homes. You know, Moms Demand Action for Common Gun Sense was started by Shannon Watts in 2012, right after St. Hook Elementary, which is actually how I met her. I met her late that night in Columbus Circle, and it's just been such an interesting experience from 2012 from now going into 2015, and having a relationship with her where she just came up with this idea of, I'm a mom, I have kids, even though I live here in rural New York City, what can I do to help other moms and grandparents and parents all across our nation to make sure that they're fighting for their children and that their children are safe in a safe zone, which should be schools. Their schools should always be safe and secure, and they should never, ever have to worry about a teacher or a volunteer or a stranger coming on that school property or campus and harming their babies. So I connected with her immediately that night. We were at a candle vigil together, and we've been friends ever since. So it was really a great opportunity to connect with her. Now, Moms Demand Action has actually partnered with Mayors Against Illegal Guns, which was started by a Republican mayor, but he's liberal sometimes, and that's Michael Bloomberg from New York City. And he had started Mayors Against Illegal Guns. So I had worked with them and partnered with OFA, which is Organizing for Action, after the election, after Barack Obama was reelected as president, to work with New Yorkers against gun violence, to make sure that we brought attention to issues in gun laws all across this nation. One of them being Stand Your Ground, which I was very appalled that we have the verdict that we had with the George Zimmerman and the Trayvon Martin case, which was actually the reason that I moved here to this state, was to be some kind of a future voice, if I can, in any way possible, whether it be in the state house or whatever in the future, to make sure that there's some Democrat out there that's not afraid to, go into an election and to lose re-election, to be able to be as loud as they can about gun reform and the fact that we need this. Someone needs to stand up. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what Moms Demand Action stands for. I'm going to read exactly to you what they stand for, because it's really interesting. And this is one of the key things that I think is always so important to say. Moms Demand Action does support the Second Amendment. I support the Second Amendment. I'm sure many of you in this room support the Second Amendment. But they believe that common sense solutions can help decrease the escalating epidemic of gun violence that kills too many of our children and loved ones each and every single day. Whether the gun violence happens in urban Chicago, suburban Virginia, or rural Texas, we must act now on new and stronger gun laws and policies to protect our children and our families. Moms Demand Action envisions a country where all children and families are safe from gun violence. This is, again, a nonpartisan organization, a grassroots movement that has grown to include a chapter in every single state all across our country. While they are educating and motivating and mobilizing, moms and families take action that will result in stronger laws and policies that will lead to saving lives of children and young adults. We are facing a public health crisis. Nearly 8 American children are shot and killed every single day. And it's astounding why the Republicans stand by and they do nothing. Nothing. Especially in the state legislature. Nothing. They do nothing. Anything else responsible for this many deaths would be immediately investigated and regulated. And that is so true. We know this not because we're Democrats, not because this is a Democratic Women's Club, but we have something that many Republicans seem that they don't have, and it's common sense.
Yeah, true.
Not a single federal law has been passed in decades to prevent gun violence. Not after Columbine and not after Newtown. For too long, those who stand to profit from easy access to guns have controlled the conversation about gun violence. American families are being destroyed and mothers have had enough, which is why this wonderful organization was started. It will no longer stand by and let Congress and the United States Senate, federal and state employees, and companies and colleges turn their back on sensible gun laws and policies. They are organizing to effectively lobby and apply pressure that will result in stronger, sensible gun laws and policies that will protect children and families. The momentum is truly on our side. As we learned last year, we just need to turn out and vote. When Democrats vote, we win. And that is the only way, especially in this state, that we are going to change the state legislature and many of these laws that we are unfortunately known for all across the world. American mothers are an important voice to that. When harnessed, they will wield significant change, and they will be accidental activists, but they will wave change in America. Let's talk a little bit about Florida. This was something I came across this last week, and I just thought it was so astounding. I was surprised. I Google checked it, fact checked it, I looked all over, and it's true. Florida leads the nation, which you should be surprised, but I was, with a record 1.4 million active concealed and carry licenses in Florida.
Yeah, so they
What is it? What?
1.4 million concealed and carry licenses in the state of Florida, more than any other state in the United States of America. Now, when I do a lot of work in HIV/AIDS as well. I go around the state and I talk to sometimes Republican groups, which is fun talking to them about sex education. Especially coming from a young, liberal, progressive gay man that's very much known for his Hillary Clinton activism. They just love hearing about sex from me.
Well, they don't know anything about it, obviously.
Well, they clearly
they
don't.
think you take a birth control pill every time you have sex.
Right.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So, I was keynoting and I went to Europe last year and I keynoted 2 AIDS conferences. One of them was in Amsterdam and the other was in Paris. When I was at the Royal Carré Theatre in Amsterdam, Netherlands last year, after I had spoke, because many of the individuals had known that I was from Florida, and I'm proud to be a Floridian and a registered Democrat in this state, I had many young people come up to me and say, it's remarkable what you're doing, but we know that you're from Florida, and one of the questions that we have, and many of the questions that people, young, old, black, white, gay, straight, whatever you might be, had for me was this law that we are known too much for. And you would be surprised when you have people coming up to you from Europe at an AIDS conference that want to talk to you about stand your ground. That's what we're known for.
Yeah.
That's what we're known for. I don't want to say Florida is a joke because I don't believe that we are, but to other states, to people up in the north, to many of my New York City liberal friends, we are. I don't feel that we are a joke, but we're being made to be that way because of many of the Republican and conservative legislators that are standing up and are doing nothing but fighting for the top 1%, the wealthiest of Floridians, while the middle-class families and those who are struggling to make it in this very tough economy are trying so hard just to get by. We're known for that stand your ground law here in this state, which does nothing but put cracks and loopholes within a law that is broken, that does nothing but hurt minorities and young black men. Now, when I said that to other people who are not necessarily of our political affiliation, and I've said this to Republicans, they say, you're making this a race issue. Now, of course, I had to take a deep breath when I say that.
You don't have to make one.
Exactly. I'm not making it a race issue. I'm just going off of the fact that why is it that so of the gun violence that we see here in this country, especially with policing and racial profiling that's going on right now, why does it seem that so many of those who are affected directly by gun violence are unarmed young black men? There are statistics and data that show that. As Bill Clinton says, math and arithmetic does not lie. It does not lie. I'm only going off of this thing that Republicans refuse to understand, and that's facts. It's basic facts. We are known for so many more laws just than that. If you want to take notes on this, if you have the papers and the pens to do so, I definitely encourage you to do so. Because I'm going to go through a couple different laws that we have right now. And just this past session, just this month past session, can you imagine poor Amanda Murphy up there in the State House? One of 39 Democrats in the entire State House legislature that's up there. And with her hands tied, and she can work on what she wants to work on, but if she goes outside of her bubble, they will attack her, and they will say, we are going to make sure that you are not re-elected. The NRA will go after her if she tries to do this. That's why we have to turn out and vote. Not just for Hillary Clinton or whoever you're going to support in 2016, but we have to do it for the Democratic Party and what we stand for as Democrats and what we want this state to be in 2016 and the years ahead of the presidential election cycle. This was just March 24th of 2015. It's called Senate Bill 290. They passed a law to allow gun owners to carry concealed weapons on their person when they evacuate during hurricanes or other national emergencies. When I read that online, that this was a law that was coming to fruition, I thought I was reading, I truly, sometimes when I read some of these things here in Florida, I think that I'm reading The Onion. I think that I'm reading some kind of joke. But it's not. This is a human reality, and it's something that's going on in the state. Now, I don't know if any of you have looked at a map of the United States recently, but this state called Florida, we're kind of, around this big pocket of water. And we have a very significant opportunity for natural disaster and hurricanes to happen to us, especially in South Florida and in Tampa Bay. It can and it will happen. I lived in New York City during Hurricane Sandy. I did not think that that would ever happen, and that happened. And I can tell you one thing, if New York City, and there are some crazies in New York City, I definitely think they give some Floridians a run for their money. I think that if New York City would have had a law like this on the books, I can only imagine during Hurricane Sandy how horrible it would have been. It's stressful, it's chaotic, people are losing their homes, they're losing their loved ones, they're losing their pets. I mean, it's awful. Can you imagine what their state of psyche might be and what they might be willing to do that they normally, in their correct state of mind, might not do? It's ludicrous, but this is a law that was passed. It's just crazy to me. So you have that, and it's astounding. We just had Tally Days with the Democratic Women's Club of Florida, and I was in Tallahassee, and I got to go sit on a couple of different committees, and one of them was the State Senate Committee, and I talked to one of the legislators. Does anyone here in this room know State Senator Jeff Brandes? From St. Petersburg, as I like to call him every time I see him. He's the poster child for the NRA. He doesn't like me at all. I think I'm just a progressive queer to him, and he just doesn't like me. But it's so funny because when I was there, it was literally me sitting with all black women, and behind us a bunch of police officers that stood for every single thing that he was trying to put forth in that committee in regards to guns. You have individuals like that truly, you go up to them, you talk to them, and when he saw that it was me there, who he knows because I bother him, because I live in Pinellas County. I don't want to say I terrorize him in the manner that he terrorizes our state, but I do let him know that I do not agree with virtually any decision that he ever makes, because they are wrong. They're ideas, but they're bad ideas, and they're bad ideas for middle-class families and people all across our state, especially here in Pinellas County and the Tampa Bay area. It's ludicrous. So, don't you know, when he saw that I was sitting there with all of these black women and all these officers, he did not want, it was on the agenda, but he made a motion to make sure that every other state senator wouldn't talk about this and that they would save it for another time. He didn't want to have to deal with that. This was a school safety bill, by the way, which I will be getting to eventually. The next bill that I want to talk about briefly.
So what was the bill that he tabled because you were there?
Well, that is going to be the school safety bill, which is Senate Bill 180. I'm going to get to that one next, right after this one. The next bill, because there are Senate bills and House bills of all of them, and I'm intentionally wanting you to write these down because I think it's important for you to research them and call people like like Amanda Murphy and others, whether they're county commissioners or whatever it might be, because I know that she's kind of a lone Democrat here, unfortunately, in Pasco County, but hopefully next year we will be able to change that. I think it's important to have a dialogue with others who might not necessarily always agree with us and have that open, candid conversation, because I truly believe that is the only way that you're going to change the hearts and the minds of people that don't agree with us, but they might just not understand. So, the next bill, there's a Senate bill and a House bill of it. It's Senate Bill 176 and House Bill 4005. Now, this is crazy as a young person. And I would like to know that before I even go into what this is, it's up in votes for various committees. It's been moving through its 4 committees. So this is it's about to happen. I would like to say before I even talk about this, that students, faculty members, presidents of campuses, and police chiefs on college campuses strongly oppose this. I went to school in New York City. It doesn't matter where I went to school. I grew up in a very small town in the state of Ohio, and I would never want a gun in my school or on my college campus. But this bill Senate Bill 176 and House Bill 4005 allow guns on college campuses. That's 12 state universities that are now going to allow students to bring a concealed weapon on their person. Why?